Hey guys, it's A. Smith, and today I'm here to talk about Victor Osimhen at Galatasaray so far and what could be next for Victor. So Victor has spent 2 seasons at Galatasaray already. Time flies, of course. So Victor, he spent 2 seasons at Galatasaray after moving from Napoli, and he recently just won the Super League in the just concluded season. It's been a tough season for Victor. He's had a lot of injuries because, of course, he's a star player. He's getting tackled out in the game, but he is still turned up for his team. He won the Super League and he did great in the UCL this season. He scored 7 goals in 10 games playing for Galatasaray against the big European dogs. I'm very impressed with that. I'm really, really impressed with that. I think it could do a lot better if he had an even better team. So yeah, I'm proud of Victor in that aspect. And he's had almost 80 goals and assists in just 2 seasons. That's outstanding numbers. 80 goals and assists in just 2 seasons. For me, I think it could be time for Victor to move to the EPL or move to La Liga, at least. I think it could be time for Victor to move up the ladder. Move up the ladder. You're a top man. You played in the Serie A already. You won the Serie A. When Victor was at Lille in Ligue 1, Victor did exceptionally well. That was his first breakout season, if you ask me. That was the season that put Victor on the map. Then he got a world record move to Napoli, where he won the Scudetto and he won the highest goal scorer. I know Victor is a top player, and I'm wanting to look to move to the EPL or to move to La Liga. For me, there are a lot of top strikers in the world. I don't think they are better than Victor Osimhen right now. I don't think they are better than Victor Osimhen. Maybe Harry Kane is exceptional on another level. Harry Kane is a legend, is from a different generation. So right now we've got Erling Haaland, we've got Gyökeres, we've got Alexander Isak, we've got Wotimade, we've got Ekitike. Those are the kind of caliber of strikers we have in the EPL right now, and I can categorically tell you that none of those strikers are better than Victor Osimhen. Yeah, none of those strikers are better than Osimhen. I know many would argue, Erling Haaland. Maybe Erling Haaland is his top strikers, is one of the best strikers, is one of the best strikers in the game right now, if not the best. But I'm not going to take that away from Erling Haaland, but when Eliana was playing in his best days, right now he ain't scoring as much goals as he used to. And we all know why. If you had Kevin De Bruyne behind you, I think you are going to score a lot of goals if you had Kevin De Bruyne behind you, if you had Bernardo Silva by your side, if you have Pep Guardiola as your manager. I think you're gonna be a superstar if you had all of those. And I think Victor has never had that. Victor has never had that kind of quality behind him. No, I don't think Victor has ever played with a player as good as Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne could spot a pass from wherever. He was so precise, so pinpoint. I think that's one of the reasons Erling Haaland is highly rated, because he played with Kevin De Bruyne. I'm not saying Erling is bad or Erling isn't good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think Erling is categorically better than Victor Osimhen, because Victor Osimhen has never had that kind of quality Erling. And the only time Victor had this kind of quality Alan has was when he had Kvaratskhelia at Napoli, and we all know how that went. When Victor had Kvaratskhelia beside him in Napoli, Victor won the Scudetto for Napoli after 20 years, and he won the highest goal scorer of Serie A. That was a very, very impressive feat to do. He's scored consistently over the 2 years. He played well in the UCL for Napoli. So I think if Victor ever had a team, a good enough team, good enough quality, good enough coach like Pep Guardiola who can train you. Pep Guardiola made Sterling a star, and currently he's making Jeremy Doku a star. So I think if Pep Guardiola ever had a player like Osimhen, it could have made him. It could still make him better. It could make him better. So that's why I wouldn't say Erling Haaland is better than Osimhen right now, respect to Erling and all. And we've got Gyökeres. Personally, I don't think Gyökeres is as good as Victor Osimhen. Talk less of comparing him to Erling Haaland. You know what I mean. Gyökeres is not as good as those two boys I mentioned, but he's still getting a chance to play in the Premier League for the best team in the Premier League right now, and that's Arsenal. So I'm wondering if Gyökeres could get a chance there. Why not Victor? Why not Victor? Victor could do it too if Gyökeres is doing it. Gyökeres, everyone wants Gyökeres play. The most dangerous Gyökeres gets is when Gyökeres is in the box. I have not seen Gyökeres jump with a defender and beat him to a header, But when it comes to putting the ball in the net, yeah, maybe Gyökeres is that. But apart from that, I don't see what Gyökeres is better at. If Gyökeres was on ball right now, even you as the fan watching the ball, if this guy takes an extra touch, he's going to lose this ball. He's not as good with his feet. He doesn't pick out passes. He doesn't read the play as. But yeah, credit to Victor Gyökeres too. He's playing for the top league. So I'm just wondering if these boys are getting a chance to play in the top league in the world. I think Victor Osimhen can get a chance too. I think Victor Osimhen deserves to get a chance too. We've got Alexander Isak. Liverpool paid a fortune for Alexander Isak, and right now Alexander Isak, I'm not sure he remembers the foot he uses. So I just wish Victor could get a chance with Imada, Ekitike. I could go on, I know, with the mid strikers they got in the Premier League right now. So when someone says Victor Osimhen can play in the Premier League, sometimes I get confused that if this are the kind of strikers you've got in the Premier League, what makes you think Victor isn't gonna do better than this mid guys I mentioned? Erling Haaland is not mid respect to Erling Haaland, is a super striker, but the rest of the category, I don't think they're better than each other. So yeah, that's what I think. I think Victor should make a move to the EPL or to La Liga. I think in the EPL he could really make a move to Chelsea FC. But right now, Chelsea FC, they got a new manager, Zabi Alonso, and we all know how this new age managers are. They could be like, no, I don't use a nine, I use first nine, all this kind of blah blah. But Chelsea FC, if you want to get serious next season, you need to get a real striker. You need to get a striker like Victor Osimhen who's gonna put the ball in the net. Joao Pedro could be all fancy, could be a fine boy, a fresh boy, could be all tricky, but Joao Pedro isn't gonna win you league. Joao Pedro is gonna get you closer to Arsenal. You need a player like Victor Osimhen who's gonna put the ball in the net. You could have Pedro playing behind him and Palmer on his flank, but I think you just need to invest in a good striker like Victor. I don't know what Zabi has up his sleeve. Zabi could be one of those players, one of those coaches who say they don't use proper nines anymore. They want a false nine, but I just hope they make the right call. They get Victor. And if Victor don't get a move to the EP, I think there could be a chance for him in the La Liga because there are reports of Julian Alvarez moving to Paris Saint-Germain, moving to somewhere else. I think that could be an opportunity for Victor in La Liga. He could go for Atletico Madrid. They don't have a real striker. They don't have a real player. They just lost the best player in their history, and that's Antoine Griezmann. So I think Victor could make the move there. Ian Mola could come up with something good. I don't know if the Spanish people there will want a lot of Nigerians in their squad. But so yeah, I think Victor can make a move there because Victor is the kind of it seems like the kind of striker Solo Pablo Simeone would like because he presses, he works out on the pitch, he doesn't just stay, he works out on the pitch, he plays for his team. So I think he could really good fit for Atletico Madrid right now if Julian Alvarez moves, because I think Julian Alvarez could move to Barcelona, he could move to Paris Saint-Germain, or he could move to the English Premier League. There's been a lot of rumors, a lot of talks. I think that could be a chance for Victor to play in the top league against the top boys because I know it's going to be really, really, really important for a player like Victor Osimhen to go up against Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Lamine Yamal, Pedri, brilliant players like that in the league. It would be very, very nice for his career to be one of those players that were up against the best because, of course, everybody knows Kylian Mbappe is the best player of his generation. Real Madrid and Barcelona are the biggest team in the world, so it would be nice to just be there going up against the best in the world. You have the spotlight on you instead of playing far away in Galatasaray. No disrespect to Turkey. So yeah, I think Victor could really push for the move. Even it could do everything possible to make it happen. And even if that means getting a new agent, I think if Victor had a really good agent from the start, I don't think he'll be playing in Turkish league. Even though the Italian team intentionally didn't want to sell him to a top team, they wanted to destroy his career. But come on, you are not going to destroy Victor. You didn't make him. So if Victor could make it possible, get a new agent. There are top agents in Europe like Nuno Mendes and Jogi Mendes. They're the top agents that could get you to the top clubs. I think Victor should look into that. I really hope to see Victor in the top two leagues because he's doing really well in the UCL. He can do even better with the appropriate team, with the appropriate coach. I think football is all about having a good coach. If you have a good coach who believes in you, he'll bring out the best in you. Right now, I don't think Victor has ever had a good coach who could. I don't think Victor has ever had a serial winner coach. You know, he had Antonio Conte at one point, but Antonio Conte, I don't think he's ever won the UCL, so I can't say he's a serial winner. But he's a good coach, but he didn't even use the season under Antonio Conte. So yeah, I think that could be that. I think I want Victor to make the move to the two top leagues, Serie A. I want Victor to make the move to the two top leagues, and that's La Liga and the EPL. I don't think the players in those leagues are better than him. I think he is on the same level as them, and even it could be better if he had the right facilities around him. So I hope Victor makes the move. So let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think Victor should make the move, or he should stick to being Galatasaray? I think he's too young to be in Galatasaray. He's a young. To move to Galatasaray, you have to be 30 plus. So yeah, I think Victor, it's time for you to move back to Europe, push for that Chelsea deal. If Chelsea don't come through, push for that Let's Go Madrid deal. And I'm pretty sure either one will come through. You know, that's my thought about Victor Osimhen and his future. So let me know what your thoughts are. Like, share, and subscribe to show me some love. Merci beaucoup.